show with Aaron show with Aaron show. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. What are you doing? Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State. It's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? It's a poison! I almost stroked out and died over it. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship! That helps the defense without them even doing a damn thing! Doing a damn thing! In a call-in line. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Irish! Yeah, that's right. Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Irish! Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in, welcome back, folks. The show we've all been waiting for months and months and months, like 7 or 8 of them, bro. We've been waiting. It's finally here. But no more Saturdays without football for like 6 months. Till the end of the year, till the new year. It's a beautiful thing, and damn it, we needed it. America needed it. America needs football. It's the only hatred and division that brings us together. I say that on Twitter all the time. Football hatred is real life love. We need it. It heals America. Bring football back. I've had some realizations, you guys. I've had some Navy realizations we need to go over. We need to get this straight. There's a dynamic here that's kind of bugging me that I've been a part of, and I need to check myself and get into this. All right? But this is the beginning of something beautiful, you guys. Football's back, and it's beautiful. Programming note. We're going to go. Tony, don't do this to me. 9:02. Don't make me yell at 9:02 on game week, Tony. I lost my mind about this on Twitter yesterday. What is all the hype for J.J. McCarthy? I don't understand it. I got people saying J.J. freaking McCarthy is the best quarterback in college football. There's tweets all over saying that J.J. is the best quarterback in football. Number 1 in all the rankings. I don't get it either. I know the media loves them some Michigan. I know the media loves them some Michigan, but that ain't right. There's just no way. There's no way. There's just no way. I'm sorry. Whatever. And with their schedule, he's probably going to be up there because they play high schools. Of course he's going to have numbers. All right, enough of this Michigan stuff. Get me. I don't want to get off the trail onto them. There's a fly in here and I'm going to lose my mind. Where is he? There's a fly in here. It's driving me nuts. All right. Rocky start to game week. However, there's some things we got to go over. This Navy thing, we got to break some of this down. And the dynamic that I think I've been a part of too. And we need to separate what's real and what isn't real here. So, but this week leading into the games is your final opportunity to touch base with me regarding overall predicted record for the year, how you think the team's going to look, all of that kind of stuff. Like you got to get it out before the games because then everything changes. So anybody who wants to be on the record and proven right or whatever, we got to connect this week to get it in before the games start. So that way, we have you on the books of what you're predicting and how you think it's going to go. All right. So feel free to do that all week. All week. I want to know in the chat, on the calls. I want to know season predictions, Navy predictions, what you think the team will look like, that kind of thing. So you got to get them in this week. Once season starts, you don't get to start picking records. Once you see what we have, that's cheating. So I would be interested in hearing about that. We got a bunch of phone calls already. And the other thing, we're going to just announce this now. A couple things. Number 1, whenever it's possible, we're going to go live Friday night to do like the Friday night before Saturday's game anxiety show. I want to do that. So whenever it's possible, we're going to do it this week. We're going to do the Friday morning show the same as ever. And then we're going to do the Friday night show for that final anxiety. I know how you guys are. Drinking some beers on the Friday night before Notre Dame plays on Saturday to lighten the mood and all that. We're going to catch those vibes. Friday night before the game, we're going to be live and we're going to all work through our anxiety before our first game anxiety together. We're going to do that. Saturdays, 1 minute after the game, we're going live here. Take your calls. I want to hear what you think. I want to hear about the game, your immediate emotional reaction, good or bad or whatever. I want to hear it. I want to see it. I want to be it. Okay? So that's what we're going to set up. So for most of these weeks, we should be able to do the Friday night and then Saturday, 1 minute after the game. I'll keep you up to date on that. But this week, we're doing it for sure. So Friday night, make your plans to be with us. Pour a cold one, and we're all going to hang out together and work through that anxiety until game day, okay? There's nobody else I'd rather work through that with than you guys. And us, this community means a lot to me. And I know those nerves that Friday before the first game, we're going to be together. And then here's the other thing. I got to announce this. When we get into these post-game shows, and maybe even the Friday night shows, I don't know yet. We'll have to see how it goes. I anticipate the call load to be a lot more than it is in the summer. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not going to give people 20 minutes. That's not going to happen. Once we get in this season and I have a 20 call waiting room and there's all these callers and a bunch of them are new, I have an obligation to keep that show moving and get as many people in to give you your thoughts and give you your time. But it can't be 15, 20 minutes. This ain't a lazy Monday in May, and you could do a dialogue. It's just not going to be able to happen for me to run an appropriate show and be fair to everybody. I'll decide the amount of minutes. Everybody's going to get a few, and we're going to keep it moving if we're that busy. If we're not that busy for whatever reason, you can have a little more time. Everybody just understand I'm trying to be fair. And I need to do a better job of the host of getting things moving and keeping them moving. So understand that. And I'm not trying to be rude to anybody. I think it's the fairest way to do this. YouTube, thank you for being here. Obviously, if you're here, you may as well hit subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps me as well. Notifications on, you know damn well why. That way you alerted every time a new episode drops. You don't want to miss it. Twitter. Search bar, Always Irish Rat. Always Irish Inc. The emails, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it. The call-in lines. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Programming in your phone. When work comes by and they go, a forklift drops on your head. Who do we call for the emergency contact? Oh, I know. 312-988-15. We're going to call and tell Johnny all we heard and seen. Oh, that's beautiful. Fighting Irish Wire. Every day that you're alive. Type them words in the internet and Notre Dame football stories come out. It's freaking amazing how that works, okay? That's what we're going to do. Let's get into some of these super chats. Here's the other thing. I'm going to announce this too. We're already getting more traffic, more people on the average that are moving in and out of the stream at any given time, more commenters and all that. Obviously, that's what we want here to grow the community. You guys got to understand, again, no offense, I'm not going to be able to read and see every comment. The more people that are in here, the harder that is. And it's a great sign for the show that it's getting busier, picking up listeners and all that. Understand, again, I'm not going to be able to read every one of them. So these are good problems to have. It means that the season is here. It's so fantastic. All right, let's get into a couple super chats. I'm going to get into my big Navy storyline. This has occurred to me, you guys. Kind of having a weekend away from football. Saturday, my daughter's third birthday party. Had the family and friends over. You know, the bounce house was up, the whole deal. And then yesterday we went to the BMW Championship at Olympia Fields in the Chicago suburbs. So this was like my last little getaway from football till after the new year. And it helped me in some ways. It cleared my mind a little bit. Not being right on Twitter and not being doing the Saturday show and all that. I think I found some Navy clarity. And I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me or not. But I'm going to go through some stuff with you that I hope changes the way we're looking at this Navy matchup. Let's get into some of these chats. Domer guy, he's the first one every day, and I appreciate him. Callers, hang in there. You need to get heard this week. Domer guy, let's paint the house to Rockville green on September 23rd. No more red takeovers and a buck nut. Here's the deal. No more red takeovers. You got to wear green, be heard and seen. Don't sell your tickets to the other team. My whole rhyme I made for this, okay? Here's the deal, though. You got to be 4-0 going into that game. You must. You absolutely must. You know, if you want to talk about some of these coaches that break seasons down into chunks to look at it, to have like shorter term goals and bigger term goals, that first block of 4-0 has to be that first block of 4-0. Okay, Navy, Tennessee State, NC State, even if it's a tough physical hot battle in the humidity in the Carolinas, and then the Always Irish tailgate game. I'm not even calling it Central Michigan. It's the Always Irish tailgate game. You got to be 4-0. So if you're one of those people who likes to compartmentalize seasons into blocks and then approach them that way, you got a beautiful run up. It's got to be 4-0. There's just there's no other way you got there. I don't see a path to Notre Dame having a great year if they don't enter Ohio State 4-0. It's that simple. The rest of the schedule is that tricky, that tough. You can't drop any of those first four. So that's the first barometer I'm looking at. You just have to. I don't even care if it looks a little rough early or whatever. I don't care. It has to be a 0 on that second number of the record to get into Ohio State for anything, any decent outcome of the season you can imagine. For it to be, you got to be 4-0 in that first block. So that I get talking about Ohio State. I love talking about it too. Spent half a summer doing about it. But yeah, you got to get to 4-0 for that to really matter as much as I want. T-Rex, what it is. Matt Miller, what's going on? Oh, we got a little ship here. Go Irish, beat Navy, sink that damn battleship. You sunk my battleship. Yeah, we need it. We need it. MJH Irish. Look at that. Roger Staubach wishes he went to Notre Dame. I like that. Oh, I like that. C. Jones. Morning, John. Welcome to week 0. Long off season's finally over. We have football. Go Irish. Can I ask just like a functional question? A practical, functional football question? If it's the first week that there's college football games, how is that not week 1? Like, just because everybody doesn't play? It's just weird to me. If there's teams playing, then shouldn't that be de facto week 1? I don't understand that. I don't understand how a week could be a number that doesn't exist. I'm not trying to get philosophical. Just saying. MJH Irish, it's a good week to be in Ireland. It's going to be 100 damn degrees there. Yeah, it was over 100 at the golf tournament yesterday. It was steamy, man. It was steamy. Look at this. I got a drunk call from my brother's wife from Dublin. I love that. Oh, Deb Thomas, what's going on? There's that fly. It's going to drive me nuts. There he is again, flying in my light, making me mad. Mikey Poles, John, wake up. It's game week. Oh, I'm awake, baby. I'm awake. Ooh, we got an official prediction. Notre Dame 55, Navy 9. You get that score out of the first week, and it's going to be a happy post-game show. I think the Irish faithful will happily take that. That would mean the stress is low, the anxiety's low. Maybe your hair's not falling out if we get to that point. That'd be beautiful. That would be beautiful. Jeremy Welling, what's going on? Wish there would have been a Saturday night show. Was on vacation all last week and missed the live shows. Got home Saturday, hyped for the Saturday night show, and there wasn't one. Jeremy, I can't do everything every day, buddy. daughter's third birthday, the last weekend before football starts. We pretty much had to have the party then. Forgive me. I'm yours from now on. But everybody enjoyed the bounce house. The kids were having a good old time. The Format Podcast Morning Team, it's game week. Finally, what we waited for all summer. Also, considering coming out for the Wake Forest game, Bruce, the only problem with that is it's going to be cold. You're coming from Florida. It's going to be cold for that Wake Forest game. So if you're down with it, go for it. But know what you're getting into. $2 olive for the Philly special. Good morning. Game week's finally here. Phil, it's been a joy getting to know you and your family. Lovely people. Great Notre Dame family, you guys. I hope to see you at the tailgate. Mikey Poles, let Sammy Eisman cook. That's what I'm talking about. The South Bend Slinger. Pat. Morning, John, and Always Irish Nation. It's final countdown to what we've been waiting for these long 8+ months. Week 1 is survival. Looking to see how Freeman factor developed with the whole offseason. It's a big question I have, folks. How much has Marcus Freeman improved as a coach from year 1 to year 2? And what are the obvious markers that measure that? Like, it's an easy question to ask. You know, you get the year week 1 to week 2, they say teams improve a lot. Then I want to know how much this coach can learn and improve from year 1 to year 2. Whether it's, maybe we won't even know some of it. Things he wants to change in terms of mentality, approach, messaging, and then maybe that's behind the scenes. Then maybe there's in-game stuff that he's learned he wants to do different. I don't know how much we're going to see it other than in the record. Like, that's what I don't know. How would you mark and measure that improvement or non-improvement outside of wins and losses? Because we're not there to hear all the messaging and all the stuff behind the scenes. So I don't know. Rodney, I saw you. Call me back. You probably got busy. Hit me back. Put you on. I want to hear what you think this week. 918 coming to you first. Hang in there. Appreciate that. Will, Always Irish is the best ND channel out there. Well, I'm not going to argue with you. I appreciate the kind words. Domer guy, look at this. Domer guy 88. Somewhere between 8-4 and 10-2. I'm going to say 9-3 for a season, and I think we cover against Navy. 9-3 ain't going to cut it. 9-3 ain't going to cut it. 8-4, punch myself in the face. How in the hell can you get the upgraded quarterback and the overall depth improvement we've had and end up with the same record as last year? You could argue it's a tough schedule. We got same big 3. 9-3 ain't going to cut it. 8-4 ain't going to cut it. The way this fan base is, anything lower than 10-2, people are going to lose their minds, and I'll be leading the charge. You don't bring Hartman in here to go 9-3 or 8-4. I know that schedule is tough. I know the schedule is tough, but that ain't going to cut it. You went 8-4 with the guy in the beginning of the Wizard of Oz as your quarterback last year. Come on. 9-3, no way. 8-4, no way. 10-2 or better. Cash that Irish cheddar. Oh, boy. Keys to the Navy game. Anticipate 10 possessions on offense. Need to score over half of them with the majority being touchdowns. Don't turn the ball over and stop the fullback dive. Notre Dame wins. I have some interesting information about that I would like to go over. Rushman. Is this Ohio State? I want to see how the new rules and how many less plays there will be. I'm assuming you're referencing that the clock is going to run after first downs outside of 2 minutes. So you're not going to get that clock stopping and drag the chains and all that. I don't know. We're going to have to see. The Sun Chance Kid. I'm not dreaming unless this is somebody different. You've changed your name. Wasn't it Sundance Kid or is this a different guy? Good morning, John. It's game week. I'm ready to go. That's what I'm talking about. Where is my technology's lagging today? $20 holler. Oh, look at that, Jay. $20 holler. Appreciate it. Go Irish, beat Navy. And every game after that, too. Well, you can't beat all the teams unless you beat the first team. Can't do it. If it wasn't for Charlie Weiss and Brian Kelly, Notre Dame would have the longest active winning streak versus an opponent in history, something like 58 straight games. Dumb and Dumber both lost twice to Navy. Navy's a good marking point to tell you exactly where Notre Dame's at. And that's one of the things I'm most looking forward to about this ball game. It is going to let you know exactly where Notre Dame's starting from. If they defensively play under control, know their assignments fundamentally sound, wrap up, do everything they're supposed to do, Notre Dame wins by a lot, and it tells me they're already ahead of schedule. They got it down. They had a lesson to learn for Navy and whatever, and they learned it, and they mastered it, put it into action, took care of Navy, sunk the ship, and we move on. However, if this looks like the second half last year, it informs you they didn't pick it all up. And we were all saying the team looks really good all summer camp, and then they come up and it's a cluster. If it's a fire drill and you got Notre Dame guys running all over, missing their assignments and all that, then it informs you, one, you're probably going to be in a dogfight till the end, and John's hairs, whatever's left's going to fall out. But also, it tells you, all right, they're not picking up the plan, and just running with it into the season, and they're more advanced and all that. That's what this Navy game is going to tell you. It's going to let you know the starting point of where the team is this year. And you're going to have to gauge it off that. And they better be ready. I'm not ready to be stressed out. Second half last year, I just can't do it. Terrence Westbrook. Oh, my God. I'm here today. Didn't mean to fall asleep on you, John. My excuse is I work nights. Terrence, do you know how fun that was for me? And I forget if I put it out or not, you're going to have a short. You're getting a short. That's getting clipped. It's getting cut. And I think I posted it last night. I don't even remember what I did. This weekend was a blur. We had a lot going on. I might have posted it last night of you falling asleep. Unbelievable. And it's partially my fault, Terrence, because I made you wait. And so a part of that's on me because you were on hold a while. I don't want to put you to sleep with my content. I'm going to blame you working nights, all right? The intern sending John a warning shot. Yeah, we're going to have to talk about that graphic he sent me. Again, slipped it in on me late on a Sunday night when I wasn't fully at normal attention. Angela Rudiger, it's always good to have a Rudiger in the chat. V1 Rotate with the $10 holler. According to some inside information I was allowed to share, the rumor is John Kennedy is the current most likely candidate for strength and conditioning hire for 2024. I don't have to be able to lift it to be able to motivate these guys to lift it, damn it. I told you, though, that's not my job. I want job of specialized hype man. That's it. That should be my job with the Notre Dame team. I don't need to coach anything. I know I don't know X's and O's as good as it takes to do that. Hype man. Extraordinaire. That's my job. You let me run out there with these guys, be on the sideline in the locker room before the games. I'll get them in the right mindset. Believe it. I'll have them ready to kill everyone. I will have them ready to kill everyone. And if they're not, then that's a red flag. I'll get them going. I'll know what button to push on who to get the most out of these guys. That's my dream job, is Freeman to go, I need a hype man. And then I just jump around on the sidelines and run all over and do all that stuff I do on here. That's my dream job. I will have those guys ready to fight everyone and run through a brick wall. V1, I love you. Thank you. It's going to be a great year. Going to be a great year. Number one ND fan, appreciate you always being on time and delivering the content you do, John. I appreciate that. I just think it's pretty poor form to be advertising you have a show starting at 9 and you're not ready at 9. I take this very, very seriously. You all know you could rely on me at this time and I'm going to be here. That's simple. Notre Dame, what's going on? 5 days for sure. The Chief Brody, what's going on? Good to see you, Manny. Good, Adam. It's good to see you, Adam. I know Adam's got some preseason anxieties, but he worked it out on his beautiful boat. That always helps. Chief Brody, a $5 holler. If ND did what Michigan has done in the playoff the last 2 years, they'd be calling for us to be banned from the playoff instead of slotting them in number 2. Correct. However, how much of that has to do with the conference stuff? Like, I agree with you. And when Notre Dame has bad showings in the playoff, oh, keep them out. Don't let them join again. Don't let them make it again is the narrative. I'm wondering if maybe Michigan's insulated from that because they had to go through a Power Five and go through Ohio State to get there. So maybe that's why it's a little different, because at least even if the schedule is soft, they have to go through Ohio State to get there, and maybe they get a little extra credibility for that. So I don't know. Shuttlesworth, what's going on, Travis? Christopher Morgan, 11-1. I got Notre Dame at 10-2 with leeway up one, down one. Due to circumstances, injuries, good luck, bad luck, players stepping up or not. I got Notre Dame right around 10-2, open to flexing up one, down one. Down one, and I'm not going to like it. Up one. Excuse me. Up one. With our schedule, you should be in the playoff. So that's kind of what I see the case being. Hey, yo, John is the man. When Burt Reynolds calls you the man, you listen, damn it. You listen to that mustache. Joshua, Jay, good to see you. Yeah, I thought Burt Reynolds was dead in real life and this account, but the season starts and he's back. I love it. Joshua, board. Get on board, baby. 11-1, Irish stub their toe on the road against a good Duke team. Or 10-2 with the same thing, plus a loss to Clemson on the road. Yeah, 11-1, 10-2s. That's right around where I'm at. Right around where I'm at. Mark with glasses, doing the Lord's work on some of my shorts, by the way. 10-3, 1-2 in the big three because of Poop Stain Parker and Al be gone by the end of the year golden. Al be gone by the end of the year. Mark, we're on the same wavelength. Anybody who can put a rhyme into something. Oh, look at this one. Rico Flores for Heisman. Get it up there as a freshman. I like that. Yeah, Bert says, I come back when John goes live, but I've been going live all summer. What do you mean? What do you mean? Phil, I'm ready for a Friday night show. I'll be all jacked and anxious. That's the idea. I want to catch people in their emotions. This has always been a show driven by the emotions we all have for Notre Dame. That's always been the driving engine behind this program, is that emotion, not, oh, let me sit there with my X's and O's and draw a map of the next play and have no emotion and just talk about it. That does not interest me. That's boring to me. Like, it's got to be a part of our discussions, but it's way more interesting to me to ride this wave of Notre Dame emotion and how it makes us all think and feel. Oh, man. Bring back Charlie Weiss. If Freeman has another struggling season, do we look at bringing back Charlie Weiss? I'm going to tell you this. At least your name applies to your message. Oh, that's funny. Decided schematic advantage. Okay, people. Chief Brody, if he's capable of being in a one top-tier offense, can't be limited by his inability to gather the offense. Who's your daddy? We got some new chatters in here, and it's a beautiful thing. I got ND 52-10 versus Navy. My cousin Luke told me it's a 38-31 dogfight with ND winning in the end. We'll see. Steven Arado. Good to see you, baby. Morning, Irish Nation. 5 days away from 53-10. I'll take that 40. I'll take that kind of win, man. Low stress. Low stress. 38-31 Navy. I'll have a stroke, Jay. You don't even want to know what this post-game show would be like if we lost to Navy week 1 in Dublin. I mean it. You don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to imagine it. I don't even want to think about going down that path. Like, we're not doing it. I'm not even going to think about it. We're not doing it. Jay Carr, what's going on? Look at this. John is speed dial number 1 on my trap phone. That's perfect. Yeah, your burner. I like that. Yeah, hit the like button for sure. Hit the like button. ND9, Matt Radke, what's going on, you guys? It's just beautiful to see everybody. Tom S. Jersey Bear D Hawk, what's going on? Look at this. Got Central Michigan tickets. Have to swing by. I'll holler at John. Everybody's invited for Central Michigan. I'm going to have a 25-foot flagpole. You're not going to be able to miss me. I will post the details of where we're going to be and all that, but I'm going to have a big flag. It's going to be impossible to miss. Everybody's welcome. Anybody is welcome. Bob Kelly, John, you this happy way at home? I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that means. No, I am not going to be at the Tennessee State game. Not going to be at that one. Will he be hard again? I don't know. That's personal problem. Can't help you with that. Coffee is for closers. What's going on? I want to see Patello become Jefferson for Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That's a good movie. That is a good movie. James Zensi, what's going on? I don't really get why everybody thinks 9-3 would be worrisome. There's 3 top 10 teams on the schedule. Indy has looked at preseason rank 14-18. Here's the difference, James. You did that last year, whatever you did last year, with a midget quarterback off the Wizard of Oz Munchkinland set. You don't bring Artman in here to repeat that or improve by 1 game. That's the issue, I think. People are not wanting to bring Artman in here, and you're 1 game better than you were running with Pine most of the year. Nobody wants that. That's not going to be satisfying for anybody. That's the big difference. If you had like Pine out there again, yeah, then I'm looking at 8-4, 9-3 again with this schedule. But you don't bring Artman in here to do that. That's another one of my big questions for the year. Hartman raises the bar. How damn much? Hartman raises the bar, but how damn much? That is one of the biggest questions of the year. He raises the bar, but what does that mean? And as good as I think Hartman's going to be on the plus side, he can only bring those young wide receivers around so much. He could throw them open to a large extent, hit the open guy, but there's going to become a game where Hartman can't throw those guys open. They're going to have to get open. They're going to have to make a big block on a seal to make a Tyree play bump. So that's one of the big overarching questions of the year. He makes them a lot better. How much better? I don't know. Callers, I'm coming right to you. Christopher Schmidt, welcome in. 28-7, Notre Dame gets the win. That's an interesting score because we're all going 28. We want Notre Dame score way more than 28. Christopher's looking at the way Navy shortens games, I believe. If you got only Notre Dame scoring 28, you think it's a real deal. They're going to shorten games, and we're not going to score on all of our possessions. Good on the defensive end, but I would hope if we're holding Navy to 7 on offense, we could score more in those possessions at 28. That'd be my hope. That would be my hope. Mike Escobar, what's going on? Yeah. Got to have a strong conversation with the intern about the cover on this one. I've got a college student intern who we talk about the ideas for the shows, and then they'll make the cover sometimes and just send it to me to use. And then they get college credit for working on a social media thing if they're a communication major or whatever. Gonna have to have a strong word about that one. Yep, slip that one by me. Who's your daddy? What's going on? Patrick Cotter's here, and he won his golf match. He didn't need me to caddy. I was supposed to caddy for Pat yesterday. All right, caught up with the chats. Phone calls coming. Congratulations to Pat. Won his match play event by a handful of holes. Didn't need me to caddy at all, and I was supposed to caddy for him. And then something came up with people I need to meet with about this show and this and that. And then we were gone yesterday and all that, and it just didn't work. Pat didn't meet me. He blew the guy out. Good job, Pat. We got a $10 hour from Bob Kelly. Not even a comment, just a $10 hour. Do you know how much I appreciate that? Thank you so much. So I always want to make sure I don't miss super chats. Phil with the $2 hour, and I appreciate it. $20 hour from Jay Lehman. I believe it's going to be a Navy partying with Dr. John in the Dublin nightlife. V1 rotate with the $10 hour recording. Yeah, we hit that one. Appreciate that. Chief with the $5 and Bob. I really appreciate that. Brian's older brother for sure. All right. 918-818, first two up. Here's what I'm just going to put out there to start. Then I'll get into some calls. Okay. We've been talking about Navy a lot. Yeah, give the video a thumbs up if you're. It really does help. The more of those thumbs up that the algorithm in YouTube sees, the more likely they are to shoot it in front of more people and go watch this show. Other people like it. It really does make a tangible, practical difference. All right. Here's my little quick thing that's occurred to me over this weekend of not following football as much and being busy with things that are not football related. Here's what I'm thinking. The first game of the year gets a lot of attention because it's the first game of the year. There's a big run up, there's camp, there's excitement, there's intrigue, and everybody wants to see their team in game one. Game one, all right? Last year, that ramp up led directly to Columbus, Ohio, and Ohio State. That was a different kind of ramp up because we all knew we were facing elite right away. We were facing elite right away. That was a different kind of buildup. In a lot of ways, there's no way you could have overbuilt that game up, because it was just such a big matchup and because of what Ohio State was. Now you have Navy, and you have to build up the first game a lot because it's the first game. But here's what I'm seeing a problem with. What I'm seeing a problem with is I think some of us, maybe even me to an extent, are getting in our heads and overdoing this a little bit. Maybe we're overdoing this a little bit. You got to respect Navy and the tricky way they play and how disciplined they are, and they never quit. They go, all that Navy accolades. Fine. This ain't Ohio State. This ain't Ohio State. And this should not be a dogfight if Notre Dame does what Notre Dame should do. I say it all the time. The Notre Dame Navy game is way more about what Notre Dame does than anything Navy does. And that comes out derogatory towards Navy, and I don't mean it that way. Nobody can disagree with the talent, size, speed, and overall athletic differences between these two rosters. It is incumbent upon Notre Dame to take care of business and do it before my air falls out in this game. Okay? Let me tell you this, and then we'll get to the calls. Check this out. While there are some advantages for Navy playing Notre Dame first with a new head coach, nobody's seen what they're doing yet. Maybe they're going to play two quarterbacks. Is Notre Dame ready for that? Maybe the new guy wants to sneak a few trick plays at us that Coach Ken didn't want to run. Maybe he has a bigger appetite for that kind of danger, all-in danger that could come with that. I don't know. So maybe there are some benefits to Navy playing us first from their end with a little bit of the unknown, okay, that you would have for as Notre Dame's and not knowing what this new coach is going to want to do and all that. Maybe there are some advantages there, but I still think this favors Notre Dame big time for a couple reasons. One, the Navy offense is predicated on precision, rhythm, and timing. That takes time to build. You don't start the year with your offense as good as it's going to be in the middle of the year in terms of rhythm and who you can rely on and who's emerging as a star and your go-to receiver and how good your line is or whatever. All that should be better in the middle of the year. It's week one. Navy's offense is predicated on precision, rhythm, and timing, and that takes time. Watch this, you guys. I'm going to blow your mind. Blow your mind. Oh, my God. Look at this. Kent Jackson is back in the house. Kent, it's good to see you, buddy. It's game week, and I am here for all the BS. Now we get to see what mediocre Sam is going to do. Along with that trash can juice defensive line, it's definitely shut up or put up. Kent. I love you. Welcome back, Kent. I know you're trying to get Johnny's blood pressure up on a Monday morning of game week. I'm not going to allow it. I am just going to say it's good to have you back, Kent. And I hope your daughter and family are doing well. I really do. It's good to see you back, baby. Good to see you back. It's a $5 holler from the T-Rex. Came back to life. Top 10 talent plus Hartman plus more experience Freeman plus 2 to 3 at all plus 2 to 3 new QBs. Way more talent than the other 9. Reese and the stench of Kelly gone equals 12 and 0. Look at that calculation, baby. You typed that in one of them fancy calculators like for junior high. Look at all those equation inputs. Let me finish my point and then we'll get to the people. Follow me here. This Navy offense takes a while to get rolling. They have a new coach, a new offensive coordinator. Doesn't seem like they're quite sure which quarterback they want. Horvath or Levitai. I hope Levitai doesn't levitate over to Notre Dame defects. I highly doubt this is a well-oiled machine week 1. And if it is, Notre Dame's doing a lot wrong. Notre Dame's doing a lot wrong then. Follow this. 2020. This might be the stat of the week. 2020. Navy's first game against BYU. They scored 3 points. 2021. Navy's first game against Marshall. The world beaters that are Marshall. The recruiting juggernaut that took care of Notre Dame last year. They scored 7 points against Marshall in their first game in 2021. It gets worse. 2022, Delaware, 7 points. You guys, BYU, Marshall, Delaware. 3 points, 7 points, 7 points. Look at objectively, not with your Notre Dame glasses on, objectively, look at how much more talent Notre Dame has than either of these programs. The last 3 years, 3 points, 7 points, 7 points in the openers. And that was with way more stability. They had Coach Ken. They knew who their quarterback was. They knew who the main guy running the ball was going to be and all that. So all I'm saying is there is a track record, even in times of more stability, that indicates to you Navy gets off to a slow start, fine-tuning the timing in this offense. If I'm to believe Notre Dame's talented athletic defensive roster and all the hype that the media has been putting on them, shut it down. Shut it down. Can we have a Notre Dame Navy game where I'm relaxing by the fourth quarter instead of pulling my airline out? The last 3 years, 3 points, 7 points, 7 points scored. Delaware, Marshall, BYU. Notre Dame has more talent than all 3 of those teams combined. Sink this damn ship. Sink the ship. Be done with Navy early week 1. Have a party in Dublin. Do what you're supposed to do. Sink that stupid ship. Captain Jack Sparrow style. I need you to sink that old rickety wooden ship. Okay? And then look at your magic compass and it guides you back to Notre Dame Stadium for the first home game. And then we talk about all the complaints people are going to have because we're playing Tennessee State the next time. Because you know people aren't happy about that. Neither am I. And it isn't because of who they are. It's the concept you're doing it at all. That's the other thing with Tennessee State. I'm going to get out of that narrative because I know some people are going to take it the wrong way of why I don't want to play Tennessee State. Doesn't matter who the team is. I never wanted to play a non-Division I team. It doesn't matter who it is. Could be the Harlem Globetrotters. I don't care. I don't want to play any of those teams. Oh, boy. All right, let's get to some phone calls. There's some space open. I want you guys to call in. And I just let me know where you're starting the week at. This is a big, important week and one we've all been excited for. The countdown is on. I got some fun things to get you guys going, a couple things to announce later in the week, what we're going to do for the live show. After the post games, I might have a special feature I'm going to unlock for you guys. It's going to be fun. But I understand that Navy stress, and I have it too. And the way they shorten the game makes you nervous. If you go 3 and out a few times, put the ball on the ground, you're in trouble all day. I get it. This offense in times of stability starts slow. In times of stability, historically, this offense starts slow. I'm sorry. I have no patience for it. You got to shut that down. Sink the ship. Sinka el Shippo, okay? Going down. That's what we need. All right, let's take a couple phone calls, and then I'll get back to my notes. 918-818, first two up. Good morning.
Good morning, John. This is Mike in Oklahoma. How are you today?
I'm excited, man. We've waited a very, very long time for this, and summer's a long time without football, and all questions and no answers. I am just excited to get it going. It's a special time of the year, man. If you're a diehard Notre Dame fan, or any college football team, but especially our Notre Dame, there's a romantic nostalgia, like build up that first week and all the possibilities. And you just want to see your guys out there again. Where are you at as we begin this week? In your mind and in your heart, practically and emotionally, where are you at?
Well, first thing is that I don't know how many of the people in the chat or just in the Notre Dame family have noticed that Notre Dame put out a release. I want to say it was today or late last night, advertising the game this Saturday. They've got the time wrong. They've got it at 7:30 p.m. Now, there's discrepancy over whether or not that's Ireland time or whatever, but for those that may have seen it, use that as your barometer for what time to get up and watch the game Saturday. You better check your local listings and be accurate so you don't miss the game.
Now, wait. My understanding is that is the time there, right? I thought it was a night game in Dublin, which makes it like a 1:30 game our time. Am I wrong by that? What are we doing? We're worried about the first game, and I don't even know when it is. What the hell's going on?
Exactly.
What the hell's going on?
Exactly, and that's my point. If you're going to advertise the game, think of who's watching the game. People in the United States. Put it in on time bank, not in their time bank. So there's a lot of confusion out there with it right now. And you're right, it is a night game over there, which makes it a mid-afternoon game here.
The chat's saying 1:30 Central Time, and then that'd be about 6 hours. Yeah, about 7:30 their time. That'd be perfect. And the other thing is, though, that is different because when we played Navy and beat the crap out of them in 2012, that game was like 9 a.m. Central Time. Afternoon game there, put it at the early afternoon. So this is different. Now you get that build up. You get to have your pace around the house anxiety for a few hours. I like it.
Right. Well, I'm like you. I'm excited for the season. You know, just a little quick piece of information. You know, I'm coming to 2 games from Oklahoma this year, Central Michigan, and then we're doing the Ohio State game. We got our tickets. They finally came to us last week, Monday or Tuesday. So pretty excited about that. We're also going to a Cubs game Friday night before the Ohio State game. We're going to play golf in Michigan, Indiana. We're playing Cog Hill. So it's going to be a big week. My wife's never been to Chicago, so we're going to go do some touring down there on either Wednesday or Thursday before the Ohio State game. So that'll be a big week for us, a once-in-a-lifetime vacation.
Yeah, that's a lot. Where did you end up deciding to stay? I know you're trying to figure out, like, the best area and maybe being by Cog Hill or in the middle of everything. Do you find a good spot?
Yeah, we took your advice, and we're going to stay at the end of the week on Wednesday, Thursday. We're going to stay in Bolingbrook, and then we've already got places Friday and Saturday. We're going to stay in the same spot Friday, Saturday. So after the game of the Ohio State night game, we drive back an hour towards Chicago. That puts us kind of at a good spot distance-wise to begin our travel back home.
Oh, that's beautiful. Hey, if you end up with an extra window of time, it doesn't sound like you will, look up Bolingbrook Country Club. And right there where you're staying, beautiful golf course, hilly, challenging, beautiful conditions. If you get extra time, I mean, Coghill's number one to me, but look up Bolingbrook Country Club if you get time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we plan on playing. I think I looked at Coghill has 3 or 4 courses there, so we're probably looking at one of the easier ones for her because she's a new golfer. So we got to get a set of tees that are comparable to her game.
I don't think Dubs Dread,
like Coghill number 3 or
Dubs Dread is not the course to play with the new golfer. We used to play course 4 for the Illinois high school state championships. We used to play number 4, so they didn't even let us play on Dubs Dread for this for the city championship or whatever. We played course number 4. So yeah, but you'll have fun, man. All right. Can we get to this football. Navy? Can I ask you this? What do you make of the stats I just gave you with the last 3 years and what a slow start Navy's offense has gotten off to? 3 points, 7 points, 7 points against athletes nowhere near what Notre Dame has. So I want to know what you make of that. And now they have even more instability, a new coach, a new OC, playing with maybe 2 quarterbacks. I think Notre Dame should be able to figure this out and shut it down. You have all the camp to figure it out. Am I wrong? Am I expected too much?
You're not wrong. And let's say you got 200 people in your room right now watching this. I guarantee you there's probably only about 25 of us that legitimately think in these terms, schedule-wise. Look, folks, we can't continue down this pathway of thinking about, Pittsburgh's going to be tough, Navy's tough, Duke's going to be tough. What about NC State? They're going to be tough. Now, the hell with all that, guys. If we're talking about national championships and one-loss seasons, and getting into a 14 playoff and competing for a national championship, it's time that not only the fan base, but the team start playing and thinking like the teams that are winning these national championships and playing for them year in, year out. And that's Bama and Georgia. Do you think they'd give a rip at the beginning of the year? If they looked at our schedule, they would be salivating about 4 easy victories heading into the Ohio State game. They're not talking about the option. They're not talking about a new coach.
Now, wait. I like this angle, but it's my obligation to push back and play devil's advocate. If I wanted to push back on that, I mean, I like that theory, but if I were to push back on that, I would say to you, Notre Dame has not earned the right to look at games like that and overlook teams like that because we do not have the proof of concept that Georgia and Alabama does to prove that you routinely take care of all that to the point where you could downplay it and kind of overlook them. You could argue that. Like, there's a give and a take that I'm struggling with, man, between thinking that way, but also saying we lost to Stanford and Marshall at home last year. Who the hell am I to have these big expectations? Maybe you need to prove it week to week that first month to build some trust there before I have these championship standards and you're getting beat in Marshall at your place.
Yeah.
So where's the balance? Where's the fair balance, man, between having those high standards and also realizing if Notre Dame sleepwalks, they could get clipped by any one of these teams. I am genuinely struggling to find a middle ground there. How do you navigate that?
That's why I said not only, 2 arguments. Obviously, you got the fans. We are who we are. My other side of that, what I said a second ago, was that teams got to start doing this. So this get off the bus talent mentality that everybody loses their minds over when we get a new recruit and they think, oh, God, we're going to win 4 national championships. And this is the start and the culmination and the beginning of stuff. If we have that talent, it's got to start showing up on Saturday. I would say on the offensive side of the ball, I would say we're there. I would say we've got what we need this year and moving forward. People are talking about how many points are we going to average a game. Look, Last year, we averaged between 31 and 35 points a game. We can wake up and score 35 points a game with this new proven quarterback, the influx of talent that we've got, a good offensive line, great running back. That's not going to be so much of an issue for us week in and week out, no matter who we play.
Let me ask you this. This is exciting now. You brought up another angle that I've been speaking about, and it's very, very interesting. Notre Dame going even last year in the struggles we had with the physical limitations at positions, wide receiver, quarterback come to mind. And then going back to the Brian Kelly era, Notre Dame has accomplished a lot. Like as a program, like not elite results, but they've accomplished a lot while being severely handicapped on offense. Anytime they did anything good, it was with a handicapped offense that couldn't do everything the best teams could do. Throw it and run it, make a defense worry about everything. No. That's not how we've been doing it. And we were able to accomplish a lot. The idea that now you have a quarterback that can maybe do everything you need him to, a real offense to do, the world is open to you if you have that in your Notre Dame. Look at how much we've accomplished with one arm tied behind our back on offense. You should be able to really change some narratives here if you navigate this right. And the other thing I want to bring up to you is 38.5 points is kind of top 10, 11 in the rankings. Like if you ended up averaging 38-ish, that's right around the top 10. And you're telling me that's only a few more points that we were putting up last year with the struggles we had? Like, tell me what world this all doesn't get better. Practically, it just should be better, shouldn't it?
Here's where it should get better overall. By Hartman's ability or capabilities and the offense being that more of a team that can control the game a little bit more, do what you need to do, not turn it over 3 and 3 out. I think that translates to making your defense better, which is going to be key to me. And I think I said this to you before, and there's probably a million people that agree with this. We got some good safeties. We got, Benjamin Morrison back there. I think everybody's biggest concern, my biggest concern is the front line. They're unproven. Everybody can talk about Botello. Everybody can talk about Riley Mills and John Baptiste going from Ohio State. There's a whole list of guys out there that still, just like we said a second ago, we haven't really proven it yet. If they stick, if they prove it, if they can contain, if they can get to the quarterback, if they can put pressure on that offense and make them go 3 and out, then I think overall, this team has an uptick overall, not just with the score, but with the win total. And here's the thing. Here's why I like the idea of our defense, or why I think our defense, can be good. It is because of that defensive backfield with Mickey and Hart and Benjamin Morrison back there. I think their abilities back there are going to make the front end better. It has to. It has to. And the score wise this is what we got to look at moving forward. Whether or not we score 35 or 38 points a game, the key is going to be how many the other team scores. I don't want these teams scoring more than 14 points. If Ohio State does it, Clemson, USC, I get it. I'll be okay with that. First 4 games, these teams had better not score 14 on us. If they score 14 and our scores end up being 28-21 or 35-21, that's ugly. That's bad. That's red flag. That doesn't bode well for us going into Ohio State, going into Clemson, going into USC.
I'm going to tell you the number one narrative. Rodney, I got you next. The number one narrative that I think has changed from the beginning of the offseason till camp ended. To me, the number one narrative that's changed by far within the Notre Dame reporting and media has been how much the media that have been at all those practices like the defense. Like I went in with major questions on the D. I still have questions up front, in the middle, and on the back end. Like I still have questions about how all that's going to be what I need it to be. I'm telling you, I don't think anybody expected such glowing reports out of camp of like, we have a deep D-line rotation everybody feels good about, and they're bigger, stronger, and faster. And the veteran linebackers in the middle are going to be amazing. And we got the best corners we've had 25 years. this defense should be really good. I don't think that was the narrative going into this summer. And as we left it, that was the narrative. I feel like that bar of the defense got raised. Do you agree?
Oh, I agree, and that's our hope. I think that's what we want to see. I want to, we want to see. We know, like I said, we all know what we're going to get with Sam Hartman with the offense. And good gosh, if Tobias Merriweather steps up and he averages, anywhere from 5 to 10 catches a game, close to 100 yards, maybe gets on the year 75 receptions or close to that on the season. Holy, the offense is going to be incredible. And we don't even have a tight end like we had last year. So if one of our tight ends steps up, it's just going to be on the key is going to be what we see on defense. I want, again, I love to see defense. I love to see Bear style and Baltimore Ravens style defenses. I want somebody on our team. I want to see a Bosa on our team. I don't care who that is. Somebody step up and perform like Joey Bosa did. That's what we want to see. I want to see somebody getting after the quarterback. We haven't seen that in a long time. Yeah, we had Foskey last year, but I don't think he was near what we had when we had Justin Tuck or even Stephon Tuitt. And God forbid, when Aaron Lynch left, I mean that his first season was juggernaut, and you're salivating going into 2012, thinking what could have been. People talk about what could have been in 2012. Imagine that defense if we had Aaron Lynch still.
Yeah, it's just very interesting to me that I feel like it all changed with that defense from a lot of questions to now a lot of confidence. And it's like, that's fine. Whatever. The media, these guys see a lot of football and that's what they're reporting. Fine. But then I expect to see you shut down Navy and to guard the fullback and to not miss, get off blocks and not fall for their tricks and, wrap up when you hit the guy, like all the Navy stuff you got to do to defend them. We better see it then. And so that narrative is very interesting to me and it all changed. And then Navy, talk about Notre Dame's offense against Navy. Do you want to see them run the ball with Estime, try and play bully ball and establish things there? Or do you kind of hope they have Hartman here and they throw it around and they have mismatches everywhere and then you could throw it with Hartman? Or is it wait and see where if Navy's going to stack the line against the run, Hartman's going to burn them with the pass. And if they're going to loosen up, then we're going to cram Estime down your throats for 6 yards of carry. Like, how do you want them to approach it offensively? And how do you think they will? Those may not be the same.
Well, I think these first 3-4 games are testing grounds for this wide receiver corps, for the youth and for the guys that we want to step up like Deion Colsey. This is a perfect opportunity. This window, these first 4 games, it's a perfect opportunity to do just that. Is to open it up early and open it up often. And I'm not talking. If I see Tobias Merriweather run nothing but underneath route, I'm coming through. I'm that Central Michigan game. I will find Jack Collinsworth and I will throw him out of the booth personally if we do nothing but throughout the twice. Get Gazelle downfield. Get Greyhouse, downfield. Get Rico Flores. Let Jaden Thomas do some of this stuff in the seam like a tight end. I want to see these gazelles, these guys that came in 4- and 5-star alleged talent, get them the ball deep. This is a good game to do that against Navy. You can't tell me they're going to have a cornerback or safeties on this team that are going to be able to hold our wide receivers. If they do, we got big problems. With
the physical mismatch, mismatch that Merriweather is. Merriweather should get, I think, at least 3 deep balls per half thrown to him in this game because it's such a physical mismatch. And it is a great opportunity to get him going, build his confidence, build Hartman's confidence up a little bit, like all of that. I want to see that. But don't forget about the run game. They're undersized. Run it when you can run it. Like, do both.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think this is me. Between the 20s, I'm chucking it. If I get down to the 20-yard line, I'm estimating against Navy. Just see what you got out there. What a better play to learn whether or not the receivers can do or not. And whether or not quarterback can do it or not.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Go ahead.
final score, I think I'm on page with you and everybody else. This is what I want to see. I don't want to see maybe score over 14 points. I get it. It's still college football. It's the first game. There's going to be some jitters for everybody on both sides of the ball. I get it. But when it comes to what guys are getting off the bus, hat on hat, as we like to say, Notre Dame should win this game convincingly, just like in the 2012 game. We should win it convincingly. We should score at least 40 points.
Yeah.
At least 40 points. Hopefully, we hold Navy under 2 touchdowns or more than 2 touchdowns. So
that sounds good to me.
50-14, somewhere in that area.
That sounds good to me. Hey, man, thanks a lot for the call and safe travels with everything. Be in touch. All right? Be in touch.
Absolutely. Thanks, John. Have a great show.
Appreciate it. Go Irish. Hey, man. It's a beautiful thing. I always try and make an effort to get first-time callers on the line. Brian Kelly's brother. What's going on? 770.
Hey, John.
What's up?
Hey, this is Bob Kelly. I just sent you a little Irish gift. But
what is that? You got to turn me down on the other thing, whatever that is. Turn me down. I can hear me in the background. That's okay.
There you go. I was listening to you on the other day.
I was hearing things. Thanks for the $10 holler, Bob. I really appreciate that.
Well, I enjoy listening to you all the time. John, one thing I think everybody's missing, we're talking about scoring points and everything. This new rule is going to change. We may lose 10 to 12 plays a game because of this new rule, which I don't know what idiot came up with it. But, now not stopping the clock when throwing the ball out of bounds and not stopping the clock on first down, I really think we're going to, instead of seeing 65 plays, 70 plays a game, we're going to see 62 plays a game.
That's really, it's really interesting. And I think what you're going to need to do is take this mathematical theory and then at the end of this year, look at all the point totals and average them out and then see where like the whole country falls if everybody's scoring less because of that. And then people are saying when you're playing Navy and they already shorten the game, they're going to shorten the game even more with this. You have even a tighter window to make something happen when you do have the ball. Is that in your mind?
Right. Well, that's why 35 points are the defense is going to have to step up on this new rule because we'll no doubt lose 2 possessions because of this damn new rule.
And do you believe, but why did that rule get put in? Is it because people are complaining that college games take 4.5 hours and NFL ones are a tight 3? Like, what is the reason? Is that why?
Have you ever heard somebody say, oh, that game went too long at a Notre Dame football game? Or any college football game I've ever been to, I've never heard them say,
I was going to say,
game was way too long.
I was going to say, for baseball, before they had the pitch clock, some of those baseball games were getting way too long with a lot of standing and not doing, but not for college football, man. Not for college football. People can't get enough.
Not for college.
It's once a week. It's everybody's whole day. The more of it you get, the better almost,
Sure.
Yeah.
And I think we got, I'm like you, 11-1. I want to say, and I love the 12-0. But 11-1, we're going to get some people saying, well, you don't play the championship game. I'm tired. Listen, I live down in Atlanta. Southeast Conference, I hear that. They throw it at me all the time. You guys don't play in a championship game.
Yeah.
Well, we're 12-0. We're 11-1. Come on. Look who we play.
And the irony is, you're near Atlanta. And you hear that, take that crap everywhere you go. And then I look at Georgia's schedule and it's Notre Dame's is so much more difficult. It's not even close. That's the irony in all that. Like they have one of the softest schedules in the country. Them in Michigan for real contenders. Those schedules are a joke. And it's like, oh yeah, Notre Dame doesn't play anybody, whatever.
Well, we do play people because every team, just like last year when Marshall knocked us off. That was their win. That was their Super Bowl.
Yep.
They beat the Irish in Notre Dame.
Yep.
We've got to step up every game because that's the way the teams that we're playing
Yep.
look at Notre Dame football.
Yeah.
And So, I mean, I love to hear people say 42, 52. We're not going to see 52 points, maybe against the Tennessee team that's coming in the second week. But other than that, hey, when we go to down to play Clemson, yeah, I'll tell you what, it may end up being a 14-10 game.
Yeah. And you know what, though? We're going to have a lot of time to look at both these offenses and defenses and have a pretty better idea where they're at. But I don't know, man. It's just really interesting. The Navy game, it's going to tell me where Notre Dame's starting from this year, how put together they are, how good the leadership is. And I just want to see them play a good, tight, solid first ball game. And if Notre Dame does what they're supposed to do, they should win the game without me pulling my hair out. And if we don't, you're in a dogfight. So we just got to see how they come out. I don't know what to expect, man. And it's Navy. It's week 1. There's travel. I don't know what to expect. Talent-wise, Notre Dame should win by a lot.
Right. I'll let you go. You got other callers, but I'll be staying in touch with you now, John. I really enjoyed the show. You do a great job, and go Irish.
Thank you very much. Save the number in your phone, my friend, and thank you for the donation. It goes right into the phone line fund. Really appreciate it.
Okay, that's okay, buddy. I appreciate you, John. Thanks a bunch.
Go Irish. Go Ira. Man, you could hear the excitement in people's voices. 818. Let's make it great. What's going on a game week?
The Cody Nines. Hey, John.
I like that.
It's beginning to feel a lot like football. Merch in every store. Oh, man.
Oh, Rodney, you always got something. You always got something for me, baby. Listen, I don't want to overdo Navy, Rodney. I want to respect what Navy is. I want to respect the fact that if you mess around, Navy could clip you. But I also want to be realistic about the talent's not close. They're going through a lot of new changes everywhere. So is Notre Dame, but they're doing it with more talent. And I just need Notre Dame to take care of business. But I just do. I can't be pulling my hair out week 1. Take care of business.
Yeah, I'm struggling with 41-13, 41-16, somewhere in that realm because of what the caller just said about those new rules. I haven't studied them. I don't really know. I got to look that up before the game to see. I just got to look up those new rules. I have heard a couple things. I didn't even know there were new rules this year until about 2 weeks ago, and I started hearing some people, some rumblings about these new rules or whatever. So I'm going to say 41-16. That's going to be my prediction. And I'm going to say this too, John. This might be a little bit of a cop-out, but I'm going to say a return for a touchdown either because of a interception, a kickoff or punt return, or a blocked punt. But if I had to pick one of the three, I'm going to say we're going to get our first kickoff, punt return for a touchdown in quite some time.
Wow,
that's going to be where
that'd be nice. That'd be real nice. You know what I've been thinking about, man, is the rhythm and timing that Navy offense needs to operate and whatever. I want to see like Notre Dame get a bunch of penetration, mess up all their timing, some pitches and end up in the backfield on the ground, like behind the chains. I just pile it on them, man. Pile it on them defensively. I want to see some havoc.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we got to, that defensive, I learned a lot about the defensive line this week. I think, well, in terms of their, gap placement, things of that nature, how well they pick up those blocks, or can challenge those Navy blocks that freaking, whatever they call those things, those chop blocks.
Yeah.
It seems like in the last few years, there hasn't been as many injuries playing Navy. So maybe we've kind of, been able to figure that out. I don't know if there's been rule changes with penalties. I don't know, but we don't see as many of those.
That is a part of it. They started a few years ago, I think they started trying to legislate those lower blocks out. And I'm pretty sure that had a big impact. They had to change the way they blocked.
Well, to Brian Kelly's credit, he was one of the people screaming for that for years, about that. So maybe they acquiesced, and because I have not seen that nearly as much lately. That's a good sign.
it's just such a just such a great feeling, man, to see football.
I know.
Coming again this Saturday. Perfect time too, 2:30. You don't have to get up super early, and you don't have to wait all night. Well, I guess you do if you're in Ireland, but nevertheless.
You know what though? Nobody minds waiting over there when you're spending all day in a local Ireland, Dublin pub. That sounds beautiful. I'll wait all day for doing that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, good point. Very good point. Although you don't want to be so drunk that by the time the game comes around, you're half paying attention and half squashed on the couch.
Yeah. Especially when you paid that much to go to Dublin for it. Yeah. You may as well stay awake. That's a good point.
I know, Adam, because it's a new phone, buddy. It's a new phone.
Crystal clear.
Yeah,
I'm glad that you broke that phone, man. It's the best thing for this show is for you to break the phone, to get a happy force you to get an upgrade.
Too, man, because they talk about when they talk about drop the mic moments. That was a drop the phone moment. Okay, it is perfectly clear. Not only is it perfectly clear that my phone's perfectly clear, it's perfectly clear it was time to get a perfectly clear phone.
Yeah, I like it. That's beautiful, man. Hey, what do you make of me bringing up those stats showing that even in times of more stability at the quarterback and coaching position, Navy gets off to slow starts on offense, 7 points, 7 points, 3 points in their last 3 home openers against Delaware, Marshall, BYU. Man, that is a real opportunity for Notre Dame. It tells me that offense takes a while to get juiced up. Don't allow it.
Yeah, I know.
Don't allow it.
When we played them in Ireland, about a decade back or 11 years ago, it was a very much same thing. I can't remember the final score of that game, but I know we spanked them really bad. It wasn't our usual. Even in seasons, John, we played them around midseason. Even the ones where we've beat them pretty handily, there's always a point in the game where there might be a quarter or so where Navy gets does some things right, and then we figure it out, but. That first game in Ireland in 2012, that was a domination from the beginning to the end. Yep. So I'm hoping for more of that.
And you know what, Rodney?
2 quarterbacks.
When I think about the scores that people are coming up with, some people are trying to adjust the scores because you're going to get less possessions because of how Navy runs the ball and the clock and all that. The other part is anybody who wants Notre Dame with fewer possessions, which everybody gets against Navy, the only way to get a big score amount, I think up in the 40s, 42, 49, something like that I think it's tied to the defense. Getting turnovers, putting the ball on the ground, just stopping them and getting the ball back. I think you need some disruption. The years Notre Dame piles it on Navy, they're getting a lot of extra. Look at 2012. You had balls returned by the defense for a touchdown. That's how you pile it on Navy. But you got to make big defensive splash plays to do it.
Right. And I'm telling you, I wish just like we do USC or Stanford at the end of the year away, I wish from this year forth we could just always schedule Navy as the first game, whether it's there or here or in Ireland
and just
or
get it
elsewhere.
Done. Get it done. Get it out of the
just
way.
Get it done. Because that way there's enough excitement for us as fans because it's the first game, because we all pretty much can agree, man, this just like you said, man, this is the one game of the year I don't look forward to, but damn well sure know that I'm looking forward to this one. Because it's the first game, get it out of the way. That way you have all camp to work on, you as a team, you get that 2 weeks leading up to the game to focus on the option, and then now you're right back into regular football again, regular formations and whatnot. So I like this first game of the year, man. I don't know. I'm looking for, all the things we've said, all the things every fan feels, it's just that feeling you get when you wake up and you look forward to the game. You got a few days left. Okay, now you mark up the calendar. Now it's 3, now it's 2, now it's 1. Here it is.
Yep.
And then we can all yell about it.
Exactly.
Afterwards.
Exactly. But it was just so so rough last year, man, because you have all the excitement. And then we came off a loss in that Fiesta Bowl with the transition. And then we lost to Ohio State. And then we had Marshall, really rough start as far as maintaining momentum, so maybe this schedule provides a ramp Notre Dame could actually use in their favor. I do want to ask you this, and I know you've probably thought about it, and I've been thinking about it. How do you think Parker's going to want to run the offense against Navy? And how do you want Parker to run the offense against Navy? I'm thinking about run-pass balance. I'm thinking about his willingness to let Hartman let it rip down the field more than we've seen. How do you think he's going to approach it? And how do you want him to if those things are different?
How do I think he's going to approach it? I have zero idea because I've not seen Parker in real time yet. How do I want him to approach it? This is what I'm hoping for, and I thought about this a lot. I want
tight
Parker
ends. I know he likes tight ends, given his history. Look at
Well,
that.
we know
I'm
that.
guessing
Right,
they're
right.
going to be heavily involved. I like that. I like that.
And,
He's going to value
listen,
the tight end.
I like the fact that if you're going to get a guy who's an offensive coordinator who, granted, he was West Virginia or something like that, but he didn't really call the plays. Still, this guy's got a lot more experience starting his first year as an offensive coordinator than Tommy Rees did. That's for sure. And if you're going to have a guy like that, good to have it at Notre Dame, especially with it's a tight end focused offense. That still needs to be the case, by the way. I think everything still needs to kind of go through the tight ends in one way or another. But what I want to see, John, I want to see him utilize the entire field. I mean, screen passes, deep balls, sideline passes, runs up the middle, runs around. I want to see him utilize the entire arsenal. Some people say, oh, save that stuff for the good teams. What I say is the opposite. No, you show the good teams everything they have to see, so they got to practice on everything, and they can't focus on any one thing. I think that whole thing of, save a couple plays for this team. Well, sure, yeah, save a couple plays. But, I mean, I want to show the Ohio States, even the NC States coming up, you got to defend this entire field because that's the way we're going to run this offense. That's what I want to see in terms of the improvement from what Tommy Rees brought to the table to now what Parker brings to the table is when you say balance, I don't just mean balance with run and pass. I mean balance with the field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I want to see, John.
And you know what?
We got the speed to do it now.
Think about when we go down this discussion path, it makes me think of how much Notre Dame has accomplished, even with these offenses that have not been able to do what you're saying. If Notre Dame can put an offense on the field that could truly be a passing deep and middle intermediate threat and a run threat, no, the world is open to Notre Dame. Then you can do anything on any play and have it work and have the other team have to play you honest. I don't know what that's like, Rodney. I got to see it. I don't know what that's like for Notre Dame to have an offense that makes people actually play them straight up. Like if Navy wants to stop Estime, Hartman's burning them deep. And if they're going to go back, Estime's going to get 6 yards of carry. There's nothing Navy should be able to do that Notre Dame doesn't have a pivot off of because of Hartman now. And if they can't, shame on the offensive line, because I'm guessing if this goes bad, that's where it goes bad. Those guards get spun around, turned around, confused, stunted on, whatever it is. That's the only way I see this going bad offensively is if they bring the heat and them guards are completely lost. Other than that, I want to see some yardage, baby.
Well, I think I said this, going back to when they moved Tyree to the slot, and I'm going to say it again. I think look at that position. If Tyree shines, really shines this year, really pops this year on the national scale, I think that means our offense was an absolute success. If Tyree kind of does what he's done in the past, or he kind of disappears for a while, to me, that means we probably struggled a little bit. I think I really believe that. I think Tyree is the pivot guy for this year's offensive unit. If he does what I think he's going to do, I really believe this is Tyree's year to shine. I think that guy's a hard worker. We know he's got talent.
Secret weapon.
Hasn't been, and some of it's. He's still. I don't want to, just blame the coaches for Tyree. I don't believe that's fair. I think he's had some things to work on himself, but I just think he's right, man. I think that is going to be the X factor. I think he's going to be the most improved player on the team. In terms of what he could be and what he has been so far, I'm just really looking forward to that position, man. And I mean that both also, not just as a offensive player, but also as a returner. If they can utilize him the way they utilize Rocket and, as kind of a flanker back. You know, they don't call it that position. They don't call it that anymore. You know, it's a slot. You know, but kind of a hybrid of a slot and a wing back. I don't know. I'm just super excited about Tyree, man. I really think there's a lot of things they can do there. We got a 6th-year quarterback back there, man. You know,
Rodney, Tyree should be the most amazing secret weapon for Notre Dame. This is the most perfect role for him. I think he's going to handle the transition over from running back to wide receiver easily and well. He is a secret weapon. He knows what to do with the ball. You just need to get it to him in a soft spot in the zone or whatever. He could be the bailout for Hartman when nobody else is open other than just the tight end. Like, you could do so much with this guy. You could set up some awesome little slip screens. I think he is going to be a big part of making this offense a real threat. And I mean that. And you know what? Good for him too. He deserves to be put in a position that highlights his skill set. And I think this does it more than a couple north-south runs. You know what I mean? So I can't wait for that.
Yeah, and look, they can still use him in that role here and there. You know, that's the great thing about him is he's kind of a flex guy where if you got a couple guys out at the running back position, you can put him back. That's what they did with Rocket. When they would give guys a rest, you know, in those third and fourth quarter, they would throw Rocket in there because, now with, you know, the team's wearing down, now you got to deal with that kind of speed in the backfield.
Yeah.
So that'd be smart too. I mean, just use him as a flex guy. I mean, they know this. I mean, I'm not telling them anything they don't know. But as a fan base, man, okay, here's where I'm coming back up a little bit. I hope it doesn't come back to bite me in the ass. But I'm going to say 10-2, and just like you, John, a flex of 1 game down, 1 game up. I'm thinking it's going to be Clemson's going to be the loss, and then it's either I'm going to predict either Duke or Louisville. I probably more likely Duke, but that's where I'm at right now, man. 10-2, and then if things go really well, that means they don't have that dumb loss because I really don't think they can get through all 3 of the big 3 with wins.
Well,
I'm
now
just
let me
looking
ask
at
you
that
this.
Clemson game.
Let me ask you this: Is the fact that Hartman's here and we know what his base level competency is that enough to pretty much stop Notre Dame from having a Marshall or a Stanford this year? Because that guy's baseline, not his best day, just the baseline competency you get out of him is going to be higher than what it was last year with all those struggles. Like, I have a hope that maybe that alone is like at a level where that's not going to be physically possible. I mean, anything's possible, but not nearly as likely as it was last year.
Well, that's why when I thought more about the 3 losses, I'm like, it's only 1 game above last year, and we shouldn't have had those last year. We should have been 10-2. And even if you lose one of those, of Marshall and Stanford, and we're 9-2, I mean, the same this year, it seemed to me. So the more I started thinking about it, I'm like, wait, this is a 6-year guy. He would have made throws probably in that game or avoided a sack in that game or not threw the ball and hit the back of an offensive lineman's helmet in one of those games where that just wouldn't happen. That's why I come back up to 10-2. I think it's a pretty safe bet. The more I think about it, man, well, unless there's a major injury, whether it be Estime or Hartman, you know, something like that would happen.
Yeah, but now that, but when I make my predictions, I always try and not go down that road because the injury thing, you can't build that in for or against you, good year, bad. Like, it's just, so right. I try and take that out. And I just wonder, I just feel like that the baseline level should be way higher. And, you know, I think you're starting to see that blue chip ratio already take effect, man. I feel like the 2 deep is more athletic and more ready to play up and down on both sides of the ball. I mean, there's still areas that are a little thin for my liking. But I feel like overall, there's a lot more guys that are ready to contribute a lot earlier than we're used to. And I think that is a good sign. And John, that is overall, like, that's separate from like whatever's going to happen this season. That's a bigger picture issue. And I see that trending in a good direction overall. And I like that.
Well, John, that's exactly right. You just brought up a point that I forgot to bring up like 3 times in a row and I've called. And that is, you know, it's starting to look like this 12th rated class or whatever it turned out to be overall is actually probably the most talented of the last 3 years. If you're listening to everybody that's watching the practices, they're all saying this is the most ready freshman class they've seen in years. So we're already seeing what we kind of thought, that some of those recruiting again, we got to prove it on the field, but that it's looking a lot like this class might be the most talented of the last three, not the one that turned out to be the least talented. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. And so I think things are trending up, man. The vibes are good. Everybody, I mean, the health's been relatively good through camp. It's all leaning in the right direction. Now it comes down to them getting it done when the moment matters, not in camp, not in practice, not in a scrimmage, none of that. On the biggest stage, Notre Dame needs to perform, and you just need to get it done. You can't go 12-0 unless you start 1-0. You can't be 5-0 unless you start 1-0. Like, you just need to keep winning, man. Win these damn games. We have a lot of will we have to make up from last year, man. It was a rough year.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, these next 2 weeks, there really shouldn't be a whole lot of struggling. And even against NC State, hell, if anything, they should be excited to play that game because, finally we're getting matched up against someone that, is on a relative even keel, at least in terms of, top level, football talent. You're jumping up in that week 3, and then you go into week 4, and it's like now you're gearing up for Ohio State. And they should be counting that in their head, man. That that this means nothing. This Central Michigan game or Ohio State game means nothing if we can't win this one. So I do kind of like the way, with the exception of Duke, right after Ohio State. That one scares me, man. It really does. But and Louisville maybe right after that, just because that goes right into USC then at that point.
Listen, man. Ohio State, Duke, Louisville, USC. Oh, that is a heavy window. Yeah. That little block, I talked about 4 games and then 4 games and then 4 games, breaking it down. Ohio State, at Duke, at Louisville, back home for USC. That middle of the season run, woo, baby, that could make or break Notre Dame's whole year. That little window.
Well, and I'll say this too. I think I'll say this, and I'll leave it at that. And we can, continue this later in the week. I think Ohio State is sort of that marquee game that kind of shows me: are they going to be 11-1, or are they going to be, depending on how they play, are they going to be a 9-3ish team? If they lose that game, and it's not, it doesn't, if it doesn't come down to like the last play and they lose it, if let's say they lose by, again, another double-digit loss or 7 to 10 points, that tells me we're probably looking at a 9-3 year. If they win that game or it's super close and, last second catch or whatever, then I'm feeling much more 11-1, 10-2. So I just, want to put that out there. So that's a big swing game to me in terms of where we're going to go the rest of the year. But having said that, this week's game 1, man. 41-16, I'll say.
There you go, man. That would be a happy John in the post-game show. Let's hope for it. Hey, enjoy the rest of the week. Don't stress yourself out, and then get ready, because once we start, we're all busy every weekend for the next 6 months. It's a great thing, man. I love it. Have a good Monday, buddy.
Yep. You too. Hey, John, take care, bud.
See ya. Oh, the best thing that ever happened to Rodney is he dropped that damn cell phone and had to buy a new one. I love it. It is the best thing. It's helped my life because he likes to call a lot, and his phone line sucked for like a year. So I'm glad he dropped that phone. What did I have? Somebody said something. Yeah, I know that's descriptive, and I highlighted it. Christopher Morgan, that's a $20 holler. I appreciate it. It goes right to the post-game call-in line. In terms of lower body injuries, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Imagine ND Cleats having a Puma logo with the green, gold, and white. Major League Soccer players just run nonstop, rare injuries beside being tripped up. I like Puma mostly for the golf. All of my golf cleats are Puma, whether they're the actual soft spikes. I have 2 pairs of those, or the ones that are more like look like athletic running shoes, like not the traditional golf cleat with the nubs at the bottom. And I have a bunch of those that I wear as tennis shoes and golf practice shoes. I like Puma, and they're comfortable. They're light. I don't know. Whatever. It's Notre Dame. At least they got paid. That's what I'm going to say. At least they got paid. Oh, boy. Look at this. I brought this up last week too, you guys. You guys are falling for the beat. I know It's autocorrect. I know he means beat, writer, spin. And it's always just funny to see this with BVG going like this. And that's what I was doing too. Losing my mind when that guy was ruining the team. That's what I was doing too with an ice pick. Anyways, you guys are falling for the beat writer spin. I asked this. This was a big part of my theme last week. I got on here and I was saying, wait a second. Wait a damn second. And I'll address this in a minute. I really will. But I was saying, like, how is it? The Notre Dame narratives sometimes are very, very hard to figure out the truth. And when you have fall camp and everybody in Notre Dame fandom is desperate for any information, a 10-second video clip like from practice, we're so starved all summer of non-Notre Dame-y. When it comes back, we're dying for information and everything. And then I hear from these beat reporters, the defense is dominating and they look great. And there's a deep defensive line rotation and the veteran linebackers are going to be better than ever and the best corners in 20 years. And you have Sam Hartman, well, then you're a playoff team. If all that's true, you're a playoff team. If you have that deep of a rotation, 7 or 8 on the defensive front that you trust, and the linebackers aren't going to, they're actually going to get home on a blitz once in a while. Best corner play in 20 years. And you got a quarterback that can throw the ball, make the playoff then. But my point with this is, what benefit did the beat reporters get out of selling you something they don't believe is true? Like, isn't their job to go report what they honestly see? And why would they go into camp and then blow up Notre Dame to be something they don't think they are just to get ratings in the summer? And then what? You lose all your credibility when the team doesn't look anything like you, the experts, said it would? Like, I just don't see what the benefit is of those guys pumping it up if they really don't think it's accurate. And you have multiple groups pumping up this defense. It's not like it's only one group of company that's at the practice saying, oh, yeah, they look really good to me, and I expect it to be really, really good. Pretty much everybody's saying that that defense has ended the summer looking way better than anybody thought. So I expect them to play that way. I just see no reason for those guys to lie about that unless they're just totally wrong and don't know what they're looking at. And I don't know how some of these guys made it really high up in the journalism field doing that. I don't know. Prime time, $2 holler. I really appreciate it. Happy game week, John. Finally here. Thank God. SP, stop pump bacon. Can y'all stop hyping opponents who are not USC, Ohio State, or Clemson? All right. Here's my answer to that. In the beginning of the show, I went over this. I went over the uncomfortable feeling of feeling like we were overblowing Navy just because it's game one. And are you giving them, like, does it cross over to where you're giving too much credence and credibility to a team, building them up that they're going to be good when they're not, that you make them such? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you build them up that much, they become it. You don't want to do that either. But the issue is Notre Dame won great last year. Notre Dame had a lot of issues last year. The last Notre Dame team we saw really struggled on offense and was limited and had issues and lost to Marshall and Stanford at home as 17.5-point favorites. So there has to be a responsible give and take. Like, Is it a mistake to just build up Ohio State, and USC and Clemson, and then say everybody else isn't anything? Is it responsible for Notre Dame to look at it that way? The last year we lost to Marshall and Stanford. Are we really in a position to overlook anybody? This ain't Georgia. We're not Georgia. If it's Georgia and you're playing Marshall or whatever, roll the ball out there and then just go run around and you're going to win by 50 because you have that talent and you've proven that you can handle it. Notre Dame has to earn that trust. So I'm glad that this came up because it's one of my main struggles, trying to walk the line of being realistic about who's really good and should threaten Notre Dame and not. But I also got to admit, Notre Dame doesn't have a lot of credibility right now in that regard. You're only as good as what you recently did, and we lost some games that ruined the year last year. 10-2 with ugly last-second field goal wins against Marshall and Stanford. 10-2 feels so different. The narratives are totally different. The way you're talked about in and outside the fan base, totally different. Totally different. So I'm with you and I'm not with you. I don't want to build teams up to be better than they're going to be. Notre Dame also can't look by anybody until they prove it. Until they prove it. Now, if Notre Dame beats everybody they should beat, and then we see what happens in the Big Three, next year at this time when we're sitting here, I'm more likely to go, you know what? Yeah, you should just blow these guys out and not worry about it. Notre Dame's got to earn that. Notre Dame's got to earn that. Marcus Freeman has to earn that. That's a big part of the test this year for Marcus. Can he show that Notre Dame is done losing these games to teams we have way more talent than it should ever lose to? The marquee three, you lose two others, and it almost crosses that out even if you win them. And I know that it's hard, you guys. I know that it's hard. I know that for Tennessee State and Central Michigan, this is the Super Bowl play in Notre Dame. And for all of us, it's like a yawn fest. But for them, it's the Super Bowl. They're going to come in there ready to rock. And Notre Dame, you're not going to be able to match that intensity because it's not the same for Notre Dame. But you got to be able to get your level up enough that you don't lose those damn games. And you got to have player leadership strong enough that they say, nope, this ain't happening again. We're not doing that. Step up. Somebody make a big play to change the tide of the game. I don't know, you guys. This is a big year. Notre Dame has such a great opportunity. The marquee three, it's beautiful. It gives Notre Dame three glorious mainframe, big light stages to show what they're going to be and who they're going to be. And so it's good and it's bad. I did the show over the weekend saying how many more nationally televised games Notre Dame has than everybody else. And that is great, and it could be bad. If you are good, it is the best showcase you could have, being on the national stage over and over and over, week after week after week. And if you're losing to Marshall and Stanford, you maybe don't want a bunch of people to see you on TV that week. So it's just all up to how Notre Dame navigates it, man. We're going to see Freeman's growth, how he handles this team, how he gets them ready to play, how he gets them prepared. He's already spoken about looking at it more one game at a time than big picture. Freeman's already said that last year, one thing he thinks he learned is that he was looking at too big of goals, telling these guys we're going to try and win the championship, looking at the big picture, getting away from how important the one game in front of you is. He said that he's changed that messaging with the team. That's interesting to me. I want to see how that goes. I want to see if maybe these guys are more locked in week to week. So I don't know. Tennessee State put it on Miami last year. Listen, man, you don't have to convince me to be on alert. I remember South Florida. I remember almost Ball State. I remember almost Toledo. Notre Dame's got a big target on its back, and nobody wants to recognize it. Like, nobody wants to credit Notre Dame for being that team that everybody has circled, and you're going to get their best damn shot. All right? And I'm glad that we have that. It just means you get no gimmies if you're Notre Dame. You got to come ready every day. Come ready every day. You only get 12 of these. Each one is like gold. We can't throw any in the garbage or ruin the year this year. Ooh, a $10 holler. Look at that. Tom Chris, 2488, $10 holler. I'm going to tell you what, you guys. Here's the other thing. It's great when people donate and then they have their comment and they're donating because they want the comment read or they want to get on jump the line in the phone call bank. It really means a lot to me. People that just donate money and there's not even a comment. Like, you're just donating because you're nice and you're helping the cause. Like, you don't even have a point you want to make with Trump or whatever, like to trump everybody else's and whatever. It means the world to me. None of what's going on with any of this is possible without you guys and your donations and your viewership. We're building a really good community here. And I think this year it's really going to take off a lot more. Chief Brody, if they go 4-8, Freeman is fired. Can you build me a path to Notre Dame going 4-8? Honestly, build me a path to Notre Dame going 4-8 that doesn't involve like Notre Dame's like the train, literal train that moves the guys to the game falling off and everybody's dead. Like, I don't understand. Even with the tough schedule, with the talent Notre Dame has, 4-8, it's physically impossible. 4-8's physically impossible. I just don't think it can happen. With the talent on Notre Dame's team, 4-8's not, it can't even be. It can't even be. And Chief saying, yeah, it shouldn't have been in 2016 either. That was a combination of some really bad, unfortunate, overlapping coaching situations and a lot. Notre Dame had way too much talent to go 4-8. I think by virtue that I know they have a better, more competent staff now, it's not possible just because of that. But I have a very almost impossible time seeing that. Is this game on Peacock? The Central Michigan game is going to be the Peacock game. And that doesn't matter to me because I'm going to be at it. And I know a lot of people have asked, why would Tennessee State not be the Peacock game? It's because of the narrative. It's because of the narrative they're building with Freeman and Eddie George and the HBCU angle. NBC's pushing that. It amazes me how people don't understand PR optics. You do not say that Notre Dame's got a young black coach and his former teammate Eddie George, who's a young black coach, and then they're playing an HBCU and it's a big game and Notre Dame and all that. You don't build that up and then push it to Peacock. You're asking to get canceled. You can't do that. It's PR 101. That's going to be the narrative for that game. They can't put that on Peacock. Central's getting it, and I'm going to be there, so I'm not worried about it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. What is this? Domer, John and Patrick, love the short posted recently that showed ND being the highest rated TV viewership. I didn't catch where that was sourced. Can you tell me? I don't know where. I forget where it was sourced. Somebody added up all those games somehow, somewhere. I probably should have been better on giving credit. I forget who posted it. Maybe it was on 3. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Look at this. James Brothers. Freeman will be at Ohio State in a couple years if he has success at ND. I can see it happening. It's the ultimate double. It's good and bad. If Freeman gets too good too fast, you're going to maybe lose him. And if he doesn't get good fast, we're going to want to lose him. You can't win as a Notre Dame fan, you guys. You just can't. You just cannot win with Notre Dame. Literally. If Freeman takes off, there's a risk somebody buys him out and gives him the world and he leaves. And if he's not any good, then people are going to start wanting him to go away. You're just not going to win it. You got to hope. What if he gets really, really good? You got to hope Notre Dame wins a championship before he makes any other move. Or if he gets that good at Notre Dame, then there may be no reason to go anywhere else because you've proven you can win it at Notre Dame. Why would you need to go somewhere else? The best argument for somebody buying Freeman away from Notre Dame is they're not going to let you win one because of all the extra guardrails they have. Come over here and we'll let you do it. So if he does good, you don't have that hurdle. Tony, are there any surprises? Tony says the depth chart just got released. Are there any surprises we should know about? Injuries, anything like that? Let me know. All right, folks. Here's the deal. Stay tuned this week to YouTube and the community section and Twitter for special things we're going to drop, build-ups to the year, little promotional stuff for the post-game stuff, all of that. Make sure you tune in. I'm going to have a short tonight. We're going to have that. And sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, Coogan and Spindler starting. I think everybody figured that. So Joe Rudolph's making that call. It just better be the right one. That's all. He's making that call. We haven't seen anybody work here from him. It's just got to be the right move. That's all. So, that's kind of where I'm at on that. I'm ready to roll with it as long as it works. Always Irish merch. Jaded. I am done creating the designs. I am waiting for a couple samples to be mailed to me. Once they look good, I'm going to release it all to you and put it in here. I'm not doing that till I get a hat and a couple shirts and I make sure in this new program, everything's good. I am not going to make the link live for you guys to buy. And then the first batch of shirts go out and they're off center or I mess something up with the design work. I'm not doing that to you. So it is all set. I am waiting for some samples and then we'll go from there. Pat and I owe some people shirts. I got your emails and you're in a file. And as soon as I get my samples and they're good and they're durable and they show and they're what I want, then we'll go live and we'll do all that. Also, Patreon coming. People have been asking for Patreon. A lot of people, for whatever reason, don't want to donate or know how on the air want to do Patreon. That's getting built out as well with special features, some special things you'll get only if you want to do that. So the t-shirts are coming, Patreon's coming, and we're getting it ramped up this year. I'm going to have more stuff built in here, okay? We got another donation. You guys are off to the races in game week. Love it. $5 holler from Christopher. Like challenge as long as we are 4-0 going into Ohio State week 5. John, I will donate 100% of all likes, win or lose. Support always Irish. Man, wait a second. You guys got to get this one on the books. I will donate 100% of likes, win or lose. Christopher, you better be careful. Pat's going to get these people worked up. And we're going to get a lot of likes. Also, you don't know what the numbers are going to be like. I think these post-game shows, if something happens on the good or the bad side, there's going to be a lot of people in here. We better hold on to this one. Man, you guys are good. You guys are good. I really appreciate that. Yeah, look at this, Adam. Adam says John will have his own gear nobody can buy like Freeman. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have the coolest, slickest logo, shirt, all that, and nobody else can buy it. It's just for you to look at on me, and nobody can buy it. That's beautiful. Oh, my God. All right, guys. That's going to be it. I love the energy. Thank all of you. There is no show without you. This is not about me. This is about you. And there's some people in Notre Dame media that need to understand that a little more. It ain't about you. It's about we. It's about us. There is none of this without you guys. And I want to make a better effort to make you feel appreciated and heard and seen and all that. And so this year, that's what I'm going to try and do. Those call-in shows are going to be a lot less of me talking and you guys getting it out. Good, bad, mad, sad, glad, or bad. It's going to be the year of you guys, the year of the Notre Dame fan. All right? That's my mission here. I want to give you guys a voice, good or bad or in the middle. All right. That's going to be it for this show. What a beautiful start to the Monday. Stay tuned because we have a lot of stuff coming out this week. Big week. Tomorrow morning, short tonight. Tomorrow morning drops the Navy pregame show. Regular episode, Navy pregame show tomorrow morning. And then when we get into Wednesday, I want to talk about the things I talked about in it. Yeah. And it's the year of Kent. It could be the year of Kent every week until you play us, until Ohio State plays us. All right, Kent? But seriously, I love you. It's good to have you back. Kent, my family asks where you are. My mother goes, where's Kent? You know, like I want you to know we build relationships. And if I don't hear from Kent, even my mom will go, where's Kent? He's our guy. So good to see you back. Hope your daughter's doing well. Love you guys. This is the start. Welcome to Irish Football 2023. We're going to live and die it together, everybody. Have a good one.